How are you guys? It's Jeff Ware from BikeReview.com.au, and look where I've finally made it. I have made it to the Royal Enfield factory outside of Chennai here in India. You know, I come from a racing and sports bike background. You know, I've been injured so many times and I have slowly converted over to these more cruisy bikes. So I was very honoured to get an invitation to come over here for a very, very special event, which we can talk about in a sec. But first of all, we flew over, just myself, one other Australian, and a couple of select journalists. We've been staying in Chennai, had plenty of big parties and celebrations about Royal Enfield. Yesterday we got to do something absolutely magical, which was tour the global HQ of Royal Enfield. But this is a place where 900 people work, where all the motorcycles are designed, the merchandise, the gear, lots of development is done, and we got to see some technology and behind the scenes things that were absolutely mind-blowing, absolutely hugely high tech. And obviously with my background, my mechanical background and my racing background, I could really appreciate it. And what I saw, like I said, mind-blowing and a real absolute honour to go and do that. Now today is day 2 of that special tour, and today we have come to celebrate the new Royal Enfield Bullet 350, a very, very, very important motorcycle here in India, but also globally, and the backbone of Royal Enfield. It's nearly 100 years old, and we've been treated to a huge history of the Bullet today. We've had a walkthrough of the factory. We went through the J series engine assembly line, which was, you know, I've watched all the YouTube videos on it over and over again, dreaming of coming to this factory. And I couldn't believe I was walking through it myself today and seeing everything that was happening. And then we went through the paint shop area and we toured the whole factory all around here. Then we came back here for a very special event, and that was the unveiling of the all-new Royal Enfield Bullet 350. Sid Lal was here and he pulled the covers off and rolled the first one off the production line here. And we've been able to stand here this afternoon and watch these bikes roll off, and they've been getting tested, get the wheel alignment done, and then the rider jumps on the rolling road and then shoots off behind the factory. While I was talking to you over there, you could see the Bullet 350 rolling off the production line behind me, and now they've started the process for it so we can all watch the magic happening as it's happening live. It's fantastic. They punch a bike out about every 50 seconds off the end of the line there, so it's unbelievable. Here it is. Here's the bike. We got to see it for the first time only just over an hour ago, all the versions of it. But as you can see, it's retained that fantastic classic Bullet feel. Without going too far, not too modernised. It's such an important model, especially for the huge Indian market. They can't go and shake things up too much, but it looks to me like it's just modernised enough and just right enough, especially for Australia. I think it's going to go down really well, particularly in the lambs market and for those riders starting on their Enfield journey, but who want to go with something more traditional. There's some amazing accessories as well on offer, so we'll go and have a look at those. And then I'll ride the bike tomorrow and we'll have a chat then. So here are the accessories, guys, that I talked to you about as well. I don't know exactly what we're getting in Australia, but we normally get quite a lot. And anyway, we'd be able to get our hands on them somehow. You can really turn this into a comfortable touring bike. In Australia, there'll be some absolute necessities that you would want to get, like a set of the crash bars. They're available in black, there's chrome, there's pretty much everything you need. Billet mirrors, beautiful billet anodized alloy mirrors, blacked out handlebars, there's a black bash plate, there's an alloy bash plate, a variety of seats, you've got a comfort seat, pillion backrests, tall fly screen as well, chrome or black coloured headlight surrounds, touring foot pegs in a variety of different styles, And you've also got your bash plates in chrome if you want. I think the blacked out ones will probably be the popular ones in Australia. We've also got LED lighting as well if you want to go down that track. So you can see this bike here is pretty much fitted out with a whole beautiful range of accessories that really complete the look of the bike. Even nice chrome ends and touring mirrors, the tall screen, all that kind of stuff. And there's some new apparel available as well to go with the launch of the Bullet, as you can see, but there's also a lot of the traditional stuff. So we've got a bunch of jackets, the helmets, the boots, right through to the shirts, the Bullet shirts here, Bullet merchandise. I've got one of these bags and I've got one of these caps as well. And there's a whole bunch of stuff like, you know, the Bullet open face helmet and all this cool stuff as well available, which we'll be able to get in Australia as well. So you can really deck yourself out and go mad. Well guys, we caught up yesterday and I was at the factory and the day before that at the Global HQ. And so finally here we are after 5 days and I've just hopped off the Royal Enfield Bullet 350. It's the new model. You know, we're fairly familiar with the 350 anyway. It's sort of updates from on the classic 350 platform, obviously. But it is a Bullet and it's retained the Bullet feel, the Bullet styling, but it's a lot more modernised. It feels fantastic. First of all, obviously, on the crazy Indian roads, we have cows, we had monkeys, we had dogs, we had little kids high-fiving us, and it was really exciting. And it was great to see all the little kids because it made me miss my kids at home. So I'll be home in a couple of days, I'll be able to see the kids. But what it told me is how important this model and motorcycle is to Royal Enfield. Everybody's been looking at us today. So it's obviously big news in India. Lots of high fives, lots of waves, lots of looking and talking about the bike. The roads we're on today were terrible for the second half out here in the village, which as you would expect, they're very similar to Australian roads, but they're narrower, but they have the big bumps and the dirt and the rear suspension travel completely soaked that up. No standing up really, just could keep riding sitting down, which was fantastic. The seat's very wide, very comfortable, very well padded. And I'm sure if you're a pillion, you've got a lot of comfort there too. Giant pillion pegs as well. So that's obviously the first thing I noticed. It's got ample rear suspension travel. I was a bit concerned it wouldn't have. And I thought it might bottom out, but I did not bottom this bike out at all. Secondly, the front fork action. It's really well sprung, well damped. It's got good compression damping, high and low speed compression. The initial shocks are not hard at all, yet when you brake, there's good support on the spring and compression under braking, and even a couple of emergency stops. The forks didn't go down through their stroke too quickly and bottom out or anything. So both ends are really compliant, smooth, soak up all the bumps, but keep the bike nice and balanced and comfortable. And I'm really impressed about that. These were quite new, these ones, so the brakes weren't working perfectly for the first 15-20 minutes of riding, but some hard braking and I managed to scrub them in. The brakes are gentle on initial bite, not intimidating, but that's what they're designed to be. But if you give them a good squeeze, it will pull you up. The rear brake's powerful, which is probably the way things are suited in India, especially in the traffic, lots of rear brake. And the ABS works really well on both ends. Some of the dirty, dusty roads here, though, I did notice the ABS was kicking in when I kind of didn't want it to. But that's just the surfaces here. But yeah, good feel, a nice big pedal here for that rear braking. So no complaints at all there in the brakes. The heel and toe gear shift is handy, it's really good. The gearbox is smooth. There's quite a big throw between first and second though, and that took some getting used to. There's a bit of a lurch when you shift into second. And first gear's really low, which felt weird to me, but I would imagine when you're in really heavy Indian traffic, you need a nice low first gear for that, darting in and out and around the cars safely to get out of the way of everybody. The clutch is nice and smooth. Take up is about 10 millimeters off the lever, and it's really progressive, so it's almost impossible to stall the bike. Up and down shifting is smooth, and the engine, there's some vibrations in the mid-range in the mirrors at about 70, 80 kilometers an hour. But when you're accelerating, decelerating and zooming through the traffic, the mirrors are quite nice and clear. I do find them a little bit small. I would think they should be out here really. I can't really see through them without tucking myself in, but that might be to make it narrower through traffic, I guess, around India. The dash is really easy to read. It's basic. You've got a fuel gauge, 2 trip meters and your odo. It's got a little economy light too for when you're riding on the gentle throttle there. It's got a really nice loud horn, which seems to be the most important thing to stay alive in India, probably after oxygen, water, and a really loud horn. But look, so far I'm 6'2", I'm 187 centimeters. It's a great seating position. It's really comfortable, slim. The handlebars could be rolled forward and back if you wanted to, but I'm really happy on this thing. And I'm really looking forward to spending 2 or 3 weeks riding one around Australia on the more open roads. But I have a feeling it's going to be a really good, successful bike in Australia. And it's been a great experience riding it here in India, where it's meant to be, with a great crew and a great team of people. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Read the full review on BikeReview.com.au. Give us a like, tell us your Royal Enfield experience, and tell me if you've ever ridden a Royal Enfield Bullet around India, because I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go and get a cold drink. See ya.